Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'll be sharing with you how to create from your heart, and I'll be showing you a process for doing that and really understanding this fundamental concept. The electromagnetic energy of our heart is thousands of times more powerful than that of the head. Now, creating from the head is something that we can do, but many times it comes from egoic desires. Many times it comes from a polarized understanding. So if for example, trying to create abundance, or we're trying to create some type of freedom in our life, it comes from the fear of lack mentality. It comes from that polar opposite and the fear of that. When we become aware of the ability to connect with our heart and to create with our heart, we are connecting to a unified field. Now, I know that sounds very metaphysical and kind of airy-fairy, but creating from our heart is not dualistic. The brain has the left side, the right side, and that is the dualistic nature. The heart is center focused. That's why the heart is more powerful, because you're less likely to create the opposite of it when you're existing in the state of being that you are creating from your heart. You are focused from your heart. Now, understand, of course, this also involves getting more to the feeling of the process rather than just the head, but there's easy ways of connecting to that. Now, with connecting and creating from our heart, it's about understanding a fundamental core principle that we are all connected. Now, the reason this is important is because then you realize that when you go out into the world, when you are interacting with other people, you are at a fundamental core level acting in accordance with reflections of yourself. Now, once again, I know that sounds deep, but when you start to realize that when you add value to other people, you are also adding value to yourself, when you realize that what you put out is what you get back, because at a deeper level, everybody else is a reflection of you, that's when you get to this core fundamental principle of understanding why it's important to create from your heart. When you create from your heart, you are creating what are called win-win scenarios. You are adding value to other people. You are having the awareness that there really is no separation between you and them. And with that fundamental understanding, there is so much power. I've always had this kind of like feeling or knowledge or whatever you want to call it, but this idea or theory, I guess you could say, that because I've worked so many years in a sales commission job, when I view myself as having my own egoic desires of seeing customers as able to add value to me, there's a certain energy behind it. But when I make it all about them and how I can add value to them, I've always had this belief that one reason that goes so much better is because I am in alignment with their desires. I am intending to serve them, and because of that, there's a win-win scenario there. So as I have that pure intention, it's almost like the good from that energy comes back to me, and it's also from the awareness that when I add value to other people, that value comes right back to me, because at a deeper level, we are all connected. So realize that you will sync up with other people's intentions when you have a pure intention. Now, by pure intention, I simply mean that you have an underneath what you are desiring to do, a genuine intention of helping other people, or a genuine intention in just being the best version of yourself, and knowing that as you are being authentic to who you are encouraging other people to tap into the authenticness of who they are. It's about knowing you're an example for everyone that you're around. And when you start to act true to that, there's more likelihood that other people will feel off of that vibe. There's really just a certain energy state about being in that field. So realize that when you get to the why of what you are doing, when you start to connect to the deeper purpose of your life, that's when you start to create from your heart. That's when you start to add value to other people with the awareness that those other people are connected to you at a deeper level. So the key to creating from our heart is simply becoming aware of what our purpose is. And if we don't know our purpose, Ask how can you add value to other people? What do you love to do that also adds value? Now that value could be just elevating people's state of being. Maybe you have a very good sense of humor and you are able to make people laugh easily. That also is adding value. Depends upon also the perspective about what you're doing. But get to the core of what gives you the passion, the feeling. You can find that out by just becoming very aware of how you feel when you do different things. Maybe even you read books on certain concepts and you feel passionate about it. That's me. There's certain books that I read that when I imagine myself speaking about those ideas, I get passionate just even thinking about it. That for me, years ago, was beginning to show me that that is part of where my passion is. And as I take action from that degree of energy, from that feeling, it's like there's so much more power under it because you can feel it underneath the words that I'm saying. You can feel when I'm talking about something I'm passionate about based upon how I'm speaking about it. Now that comes from the awareness of what deep down I desire to do. So you can tap into and create from your heart by simply going within and asking yourself, what can I add value to other people doing? What am I passionate about? When am I in this amazing state of being? When am I feeling at my peak? When am I doing things that get me into a flow state? If you don't know what those are, it's okay. Simply have an intention of becoming more aware of it. As you have that intention and you start to focus on it, you will start to see reflections of what that could be. You'll be out at a bookstore and find a book you're really interested in. You'll start doing something with friends and then realize that you were blind to the things that you were passionate about and they were there all along. It just simply needed your attention in order to see it. So start to ask the question and realize that as you go within and you have a strong why underneath what you do, you will have more power and you will then be creating from your heart. Have an intention of adding value to other people. Have the intention in connecting to the purpose that you have in life, to what you really love to do. And as you begin to do that, you move the awareness from inside of your head and into a feeling type space. Now, a little hack I have for this is in visualization, or when you want your focus to come from your heart, you can simply put your hands over your heart like this and then begin to feel into it. You can begin to do that, and as you do it, you will feel it more and more, because wherever your attention goes is where your energy is going. Ask yourself the question, what do I love to do? What value can I add to the world? And as you begin to do this, I promise there's an energy about it that will just transform the whole way you go about this process. You will be then creating, instead of from the ego, from a deeper part of who you are, and there's more likelihood that you'll get better results because that's coming from the fundamental core of who you're meant to be in life. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace, much love, and namaste. All right, bye.